Welcome back to Questing Beast. I am Ben. Today we are going back in time to 2019, where we will be doing a Questies Award for that year. In other words, I will be looking at all of the books that I reviewed over the course of 2019 and picking the ones that I think stood out the most. And I'll be giving them awards based on the categories that I think they excelled in. There are a lot of videos on this channel, and it's asking a little bit much for people to go through and watch all several hundred of them at this point. So hopefully this series of award videos is going to be great for people who are new to the channel and help them see the best of the best, in my opinion, that's come out in the old school scene over the last, 8 years or so. As usual, there will be links down in the description below for where you can find way more information about these books, where you can buy them for yourselves, and where you can watch my original videos of them, which contain a lot more detail if you just want to know more. Before we continue though, this video is brought to you by Elder Dice. This is a series of deluxe dice that are themed around Call of Cthulhu and the Lovecraftian mythos in general. There's a whole bunch of different colors and varieties. This one right here is the Seal of Yog-Sothoth, and there's a lot of neat little things that come along with it. For example, when you open up the little cover here, it looks like this Eldritch Tome that you can put on your shelf and stack together with your other dice boxes. It has a little magnetic seal on the front right here, so it pops open and then clicks shut again, which is really cool for storage. The dice themselves are very neat looking. This one has a kind of astral purple and blue, slightly translucent, with these gold lettering, which is really nice. It makes it look very deluxe while not reducing the legibility, which is a problem that I've seen on other deluxe dice sets. There's a whole bunch of different themes out there that you can check out. I'll probably show off some more in some future videos. But if you go down to the description below, you can check them out for yourself, and you will get 10% off any purchases from their web store when you use the promo code QuestingBeast. Thanks again to Infinite Black for sponsoring us. Go check out the Elder Dice. Our first award for the 2019 Questies is for Best Cover Art, and the award goes to Daniel Horn for his work on the cover of The Tomb of Black Sand. Daniel Horn is a very traditional classical fantasy artist. His work has been featured on a lot of old Dragon magazines, and he's done a lot of other great illustration that you can look up on his website. What I love about this is it has this rich old school feel, which you only get by using traditional media. I don't think there's any digital art being used here. You get the feel of the brushstrokes and the feel of the work that is put into creating a piece of art like this. I love the color design as well, with this yellow moon illuminating the lich from the back and the contrasting colors of the woman glowing in blue in the front. It really summarizes the feel that I think Jacob Hirst, the author of this book, was going for. Daniel Horn's really great, and I would love to see people do more traditional art like this for the covers. It is expensive, but I think it's really worth it to get pieces that look as good as this does. The adventure itself is also really cool. I've done, of course, a full-length review of this before on my channel, so check that out if you want to learn more about the Tomb of Black Sand. Our next award is for Best Game Master's Toolkit, and that award goes to Solar Blades and Cosmic Spells by Diogo Nogueira. This book is a beast. It's well over, I think, 400 pages long. It's part of a series of old school-ish systems that Diogo has been working on in different genres. This one is more pulp sci-fi. But what makes this one really stand out in contrast to some of his other books is how much work he put specifically into the Game Master Toolkit here. There is a solid 200 pages dedicated exclusively to world building tools. And by that, I mean random generators for sectors, for planets, for ships, for aliens, for encounters. It just goes on and on and on. I think he has 20 different thematic sectors in his galaxy, and each one has just pages and pages and pages dedicated to everything that you might need to flesh that out. So not only is this book fantastic if you're running a pulp fantasy sci-fi universe, but it'd be very easy to adapt to almost any other sci-fi game as well, Star Wars in particular. But also things like Star Trek or Traveler, you may have to tweak some of the encounters a little bit to make them a little bit less pulpy and maybe a bit more realistic. But so much work has been done here. I don't know how he generated this many ideas. It's really kind of astounding. It reminds me a lot of Kevin Crawford's work in stuff like Stars Without Number. So this is a great book, and if you want to run a massive space campaign that goes over the whole galaxy, maybe it's like a hex crawl or a planet crawl, this is going to give you tons of ideas that you are going to be able to use. Our next award is for Best Layout and Design, and that award goes to A Pound of Flesh, written by Don Stroud and Sean McCoy. A Pound of Flesh is an adventure for the Mothership sci-fi horror system, and it's a system that's really been lighting a fire in the OSR and indie RPG scenes recently, and I think a big part of that is the meticulous attention that all of the books in this series pay to layout and design. It's all about condensing the material as much as possible to make it easier and easier for a game master to run. So take a look at these pages, for example. Nothing is written as a paragraph when it could be done as bullet points. Nothing is bullet points when it could be done as a chart or a flow chart. And nothing is a flow chart when it could be redrawn as a picture. So however the information can be streamlined so as most easily to inject it into your head, that's what these authors are going for. And that's something I can really get behind. Our next award is for Best Interior Art and Best Writing, and both of those awards go to A Thousand Islands by Dzuricky and Munkau. I've raved before about how much I love both Dzuricky's writing and Munkau's art and how well the two mesh together in this series of Southeast Asian fantasy zines exploring a giant archipelago that you can put in any fantasy world. Dzuricky's writing is short, it's pithy, but it delivers an entire implied universe with just a few sentences. And Munkau's art is very detailed and precise, but it also manages to feel anchored and grounded in a way that you don't often see in modern fantasy art. What Munkau's art does is it makes the fantastic seem ordinary and the ordinary seem fantastic, and the two blend together in this really great way. So it also accentuates the weirdness of parts of the setting as well. For example, in one of the later zines, you come across a group of warriors that have ritually decapitated themselves and replaced their heads with the carved prows of ships, which is a weird sentence to say anyway, but when it's drawn in this very matter-of-fact, straightforward style, it seems even weirder and stranger and more delightful. This is the best ongoing zine being published in the RPG space right now, and everyone should check it out. Our last award for today is for Best Adventure from 2019, and that award goes to Winter's Daughter by Gavin Norman. I've run Winter's Daughter a number of times at this point, and it's quickly become one of my favorite adventures for D&D, especially for new players. It has everything that a new D&D player would expect to be in a D&D adventure, along with a whole bunch that they don't. And it's wrapped up in this extremely well-designed package that's very easy for a game master to run. Gavin's Dolmenwood Forest, of which this adventure is a part, is one of my favorite settings because it hits this nice balance of danger and whimsy that really draws players in without letting them feel too safe. The adventure starts out very simply. You're exploring a relatively small tomb complex with all of the standard D&D tropes that apply, but it quickly opens up and really invokes a sense of wonder in the players that is relatively rare in D&D adventures, and really allows them to approach the situation from lots of different angles. I've seen new players attack the situation in here with crazy ideas that I've never seen before, and the adventure really helps them do that. It gives them the tools and the opportunities to get creative and to see what is possible in an open-ended game like D&D. It's available in both 5e and OSR versions, and I strongly recommend it if you're looking for a beginning adventure to start off DMing or just to launch a new campaign. That's it for today's Questy Awards. Thank you for joining me. Remember to head down to the description below and check out the links to where you can get these books for yourself and learn more about them. Thanks for joining me, everybody. See you next time.